Welcome parents, I'm Loretta Bordeaux, one of the 3 counselors here at Albiani Middle School, and we're really happy to have you here on Parent Day, and I think by the end of today, you will have a whole new perspective on what life is like as a middle school student. And some of the things I'm going to talk to you about today have to do with a new perspective that we want to help you develop as the parent of a middle school student. And that's why I'm talking with you about the importance of helping your teenagers become resourceful and resilient human beings. You know, all of you have dreams for your children, what you're hoping for in terms of career and where they're going to live and what kind of happiness they're going to have in adult life. And so what I'd like you to kind of do today is fast forward and think about your child at age 35. Don't worry, you won't be older, but your child will be. And so part of what's important in developing that resiliency in your child is to really think about what it is that you can do today to help your child be prepared and to grow into the kind of 35-year-old you'll hope they'll become. All of us knew when we became parents about all the changes that our children go through from infancy, and maybe you went to classes and you read books, and I'm sure all of you read the instruction manual cover to cover that came with that newborn when you came home from the hospital. But sometimes what we don't think about is how much we as the adults, how much we as the parents have to grow and change, because what your child needs from you at different stages in life really does change. Of course, all kids develop a desire for independence, and in the early stages of life, it's fun and it's easy, like when they're learning to walk and toddle. First you help them with 2 hands, and then you just kind of help them with 1 hand, and then you stand away and you watch them as they move toward you. So it's easy to know how to help and how to help your child develop that kind of independence. As they start to become older, though, it gets a little more complicated because it's not just simple physical tasks like walking or being able to tie their shoes or put clothes on. Decision making and problem solving and learning how to get along with other people and communicate with family members, with the public if you're out in a store. When they start driving, when they start dating, when they're getting married, when they're starting careers. What is it that you can be doing now as middle school parents to help prepare your child and to be a good decision maker and to have the resilience and resourcefulness that they're going to need to keep up with an ever-changing world. And then, because they are so changeable, even though they're telling you, I'm sure lots of you right now in ways that they want to be independent. How many of your kids said, oh, don't come to Parent Day? Did you hear that from any of your kids? Because they want to be independent and be here. But at the same time, just like Jeremy, one of my favorite cartoons, Jeremy from Zits, sometimes even at this age, they still just need a lap. And so you're probably feeling that at home from the days from when they are just completely wanting to do things themselves and don't want any help or advice from you, because you're their playing parents, to just really needing your love and attention. So you've got to juggle and walk that tightrope. Let's talk a little bit more about what resilience is. And these I've adapted from Kenneth Ginsburg, who's one of my favorite authors on the subject. And I'll have a couple of handouts for you at the end if you'd like to check more of his work or look at his book. But being resilient means you have an ability to face difficult situations. You're learning how to thrive and survive in a world that is definitely less than perfect. Being able to move forward if there's been a disappointment or a loss or something that hasn't gone that well. How do you keep going? Being able to feel optimistic and confident, because teenagers' emotions can be such a roller coaster. When they're feeling happy and confident, you know they're invincible. They can do everything. They're going to ace every test. They're going to, win the contest. On days when they're feeling down, sometimes they can feel very down. And so helping them to keep in balance a little bit with that feeling of confidence is really important. And then just being able to bounce back when things don't go right, not letting it keep you down too long, and being able to move ahead. And so for these kinds of skills or these kinds of important concepts, your kids are watching you. Not necessarily what you say, but they are watching what you do and how you handle setbacks. And so the modeling or the example that you set by letting them know what kinds of things you've gone through or what kinds of things your family might be going through right now is definitely a way that you can share your adult experience with them, and they will learn from your example. Next, we're going to talk about GRR. GRR stands for Gradual Release of Responsibility, and it's something that we use in education a lot because, of course, as we're teaching students in school, we show them at the beginning and we want them to develop independence and learning, and so you gradually release the responsibility to them. Just like you did when first you held them with 2 hands when they were walking, and then with 1 hand, and then just with the clapping and watching. So we're going to practice some communication strategies where you'll be able to use that GRR concept. Of course, it's not always comfortable, everybody, because you see here Jeremy is saying, the older I get, the more my parents totally ignore my needs. Then he opens up his lunch. Hey, smoked turkey with melted brie and cranberry chutney on ciabatta. And then in the next frame, seriously, they don't seem to care about me at all. So if you're feeling that back and forth with your kids, if you're noticing that sometimes they appreciate your help and sometimes they don't, that's what it's like to be the parent of a teenager. So if GRRing is hard for you, gradually releasing that responsibility, I want to talk about a couple reasons why it's so important. Because sometimes it is easier to do things for your kids rather than have them do it. But there's a downside to that, and sometimes parents don't think about that. When you solve problems for your child, when you handle things for your child that your child could or should be taking part in, you're kind of sending a message to your kid that says, "You can't do this. I'm not confident that you could really handle this." And even though that's not what you're intending, you think that you're helping and you want to make life easy and you want to make life good for your kids, it's important that you think about what the potential downside could be for always handling things that maybe you should be GRRing about and letting them begin to take over. So here's some practical strategies, some practical tips you can try. The next time your child complains or explains a problem to you, instead of maybe what you usually do, let's practice a little GRR. So how about empathizing, but don't offer a solution? How about just saying, "Oh, that is a shame." Your kid says, "I lost my ticket to the dance." "Oh, that is a shame." And then just listen. See what else they'll say. Sometimes as parents, we're just really quick because we have good ideas. We have so much experience. We've had that happen to ourselves before, and so we know what to do. But if you jump in before your child has an opportunity to kind of think it through, you're kind of taking away one of those opportunities for them to develop some resilience and some resourcefulness on their own. And then just listen. Just lips together. Inhale and exhale through the nose and see what they say next. Some more GRR. Ask a question of your own. What do you think you could do about that? Is there anything you've thought of, anything you've tried already that maybe could fix this problem? So pose a question. Again, instead of offering for a solution, get them talking more, get them thinking more, and then just listen. Some more GRR. Really important here. Before you offer help, ask. You know yourself as an adult, sometimes you're in a situation where you're just really not ready for anybody else to help you with it. So if you ask your child, "Would you like some help?" They can say yes, they can say no. Sometimes they need more time to think about it. Sometimes they don't want advice, sometimes they do. But just the offer, just asking them is a way to empower them in the situation or in facing whatever problem they're trying to work out. Ask them, "Is there something I could do to help with this?" And it's always okay to give them a little bit more thinking time. You know, if they're really upset and angry or they're crying or it's really frustrating, maybe later in the day would be a better time. And it's okay for you to say, let's do something else for a while. Let's come back to this. Let's talk about it after dinner. Let's talk about this on the weekend. So there's some more GRR for you. So now here's Jeremy again, telling his girlfriend, "You're not the only one with issues. I was severely adored as a child." I hope your children do have issues with being severely adored. I hope they're feeling your love for them, your confidence in them, and their belief in them, because they really, really need that. Even on those days when they're acting like, ugh, that they don't even want to be around you, or that what you say doesn't count. So they need that, because that level of confidence that you have in them, and your willingness to tell them that you believe in them and that you know that they're going to find a way to work things out, that's the wind under their wings, and that really helps them grow into the kind of person who can be resilient and resourceful. You know, from sitting in the counseling office the way I do and talking with your students, they really hate to mess up. They hate to disappoint you. They hate to make mistakes. They hate to be wrong. And even though as parents sometimes it's frustrating, because sometimes it feels like those mistakes happen over and over again, and you think, when are they going to get it? They will get it. And so your ability or your willingness to communicate to that kind of confidence and optimism about things getting better, and that whatever's hard right now is going to get easier for them, really does help them grow into a resilient teenager, and then, of course, an adult. So let's talk about what's next. I have a handout at the end of our presentation today that gives you a couple of links if you're the kind of person who likes to go online and read things. Ginsburg has a couple really good websites that you can go online and read more. If you still like to hold a book that's made out of paper, you can order one of his books if you're interested in it. I'll also have that posted in School Loop. We have a counseling department tab up at the top of the School Loop page. And if you'd like to go in the School Loop locker, the links to Ginsburg are right there on School Loop. So if you're online, you can just click on those right away and take a look at it. As a counseling department, we want to hear from you. I saw nods and smiles as I was talking, and I could tell some of you were replaying conversations or arguments perhaps you've had with your child about things, and you're thinking, I wonder, maybe I could try this next time. And I saw a lot of wheels turning. So as you try some of those GER strategies, and as you work toward letting your child handle some things that are appropriate for a middle school student to handle, we'd love to hear how that's going for you. The good, the bad, the ugly, however it's going, let us hear from you. And then finally, I have a bookmark for you that was with a quote that we're going to close with. And I hope you'll appreciate these. I had some students from our art classes who volunteered to create some original artwork on these bookmarks for you, just to help you remember some really important things about your student. And this quote says, "A bird sitting on a tree is not afraid of the branch breaking, because its trust is not on the branch, but on its wings." So as parents, we want to partner with you here at school, and thank you for partnering with us and being here today and doing all the things that you're doing to help facilitate your child's education. Let's keep working together on behalf of all of your little birdies. They need you to help them develop that trust in their wings, and that's what being resourceful and resilient is all about. So these will be out at the back table if you'd like to pick up the little sheet on the way out. This is the links for Ginsburg and some places you can go online. And please pick up a bookmark. Student names are on the back because they were very proud of their artwork and would be happy to have you have that as a keepsake. So, okay, any questions in terms of resilience? How many of you had things pop into your mind in terms of what you might do differently? And if you'd like to do a little partner talk here, because we do a lot of that in middle school, talk to your neighbor about what kind of came into your mind. If you can think of an example or something that's happened recently and what you might do, areas that you might want to start fostering more resilience and resourcefulness for your kids. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that, and then if you want to come back and anybody's willing to share or answer a question, we can do that. So, okay? So about 1 minute to talk to your neighbor.